Who's ready for the Dirt Life Show?
Yeah. Welcome to episode 89 of the Dirt Life Show. Tonight we have a fantastic show for you guys lined up. It's going to be our Baja 500 recap for our 2021. And, man, it's insane. We had so much going on down there. A bunch of different teams. People are going to call in tonight. It's just going to be really fun. So, as I always forget to say, I'm Georgie Hamill. To my left, I got driver extraordinaire, mechanic extraordinaire, everything extraordinaire, James Hill of IMG Motorsports. We're sitting in his shop with, unfortunately, his wounded soldier from the Baja 500 race. So.
Pulled it in, though. Pulled it off the trailer and pulled it in the shop. Still semi-intact, so it was a good run.
Before we start getting into the show and talking to you guys about all the stuff we have planned, would you like me to show them your? I have a camera angle of a specific part on your vehicle. And you guys on Instagram, if you want to jump over to Facebook, you can see this camera angle. But give them a definition of what happened, James.
Well, I mean, I witnessed this at the finish. That's when I first got to see this. But our boy Ryan Edwards, who ended the last half of the race for me, he drove it in like this for, I think it was 14 miles.
So, well, explain what it is first, because that thing's bent up.
Should I go to it?
You can if you want.
Nah. All right, so...
You got a long enough audio cord.
Well, so you guys probably know we race the pro stock class. So we're running stock arms with gussets, which we didn't do much of, and then some aftermarket ball joints, which is good in the class for tech. So what you see back there is the upper arm laying on top of the lower arm.
No axle.
No, it's there.
It's just down below.
It's down below, and it's still moving. Just not in the exterior CV. So, yeah, man, it came in like that to the finish, and the tie rod held it together for the most part in the lower arm and ball joint, while the upper and all the weight pivoted on top of that. And our boy Ryan and Aaron brought it in like that. So it was cool.
Dude, it was definitely cool. I'm surprised that it lasted that long. It's funny because the story that they might not ever see or know is that Ryan actually drove it on the highway or on the roads back to the house that we were staying at.
Right.
And it literally, right as we pulled into the house, finally gave way and laid the tire over.
Yeah. And to be honest, he didn't want to keep driving it, but we're like, yo, you're dirty. You
just
broke the car. We're not going back to the house to get the trailer. You got to just run it out. So we made him drive, 10 extra miles on the roads or highway back to home.
So crazy, man. We got a couple people already chiming in. Thank you guys all for joining us, man. Mikey Sandoval said good tacos, or Mike Sandoval said good tacos in Valley T. I saw him down there, I think. And then John Huppert said broken important stuff. Yep, for sure. What's up, Jeremy Gray? Jeff Angel, Carnage, no tacos for you. Yeah, I didn't provide the Carnage, so I wasn't the driver. Hey, so let's talk about what we're going to do on the show today. If you see anybody chime in or comment on Instagram, will you hit them?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So like I said, we're going to have a Baja 500 recap. A bunch of cool people are going to be calling in. I just want to throw a shout out to James.
Yeah.
And all the guys at KMC Wheels and IMG Motorsports for giving me the opportunity to go down to Baja and hang out with them. Honestly, I didn't have any idea what was going to happen, but it was so fun, man. It was so fun. And we're going to have a bunch of story time with everybody tonight. Man, Lindsey Geiser is going to call in.
Oh, yeah. Look, we got Merrill's on board with the Wolf Pack there.
Yeah. What's up, boys?
Yep.
Lindsey Geiser is going to call in. Branden Sims.
Cool.
Pro Turbo UTV winner, Jeff Proctor. He won the 7200 class in his Honda Ridgeline. He's going to call in. He's actually on a surf trip right now with his son.
They stayed down there?
I don't know if he stayed down there or came up here to do it or whatever he did.
Cool.
Justin Smith from Shock Therapy is going to call in. And a guy you might know, Ryan Edwards, is going to call in a little later too. So, it's going to be an awesome show. We're going to have so many stories. So we want all you guys, man, the comments are already pouring in. So all you guys comment in as well and tell us about some of the fun stories that you guys had because it's just going to be a rad show. We're just going to talk a whole bunch of shit all day. So the show couldn't happen, though, without you guys. So like I said, you guys are our lifeblood. I say it every episode. And we have some fantastic sponsors that also help us as well. I can't even tell you how many direct messages we've gotten over the past week. I mean, I couldn't even answer them all. I'm sorry if I didn't get back to you, but dude, it was insane cool to see everybody so amped on the stuff that we were doing. These guys racing, us having a good time. If you guys haven't seen any of the videos that we posted, go to the Dirt Life show because we had some pretty heater days.
We got pulled over once. That was pretty good.
You want to save that story?
Yeah, I'll save the story. You guys should just check out the videos that George did. He was with us just doing media pretty much the whole time. If there was a hot spot, he was getting with it while we were continuing to prep and pre-run. And
you know what's rad, though, that I saw? We got a bunch of people sharing media of you doing either pre-running or racing, and we got to share it through ours, too. Right. Just random guys, fans and stuff on the track?
Yeah, I think I saw a post from, like, Mikey Kelly catching us racing, and just it's cool, man, when you get to see some shots from you didn't even know they're coming, so that's kind of neat.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's try to get to some of these. Can you see what those guys wrote?
Freedom Range Outdoors, yeah. All right, truck driving, checking the show out. Thanks for tuning in and listening to George, you know.
I appreciate listening to us bullshit, man. It's cool that we can all talk to her. I love watching all the day-to-day updates. Yeah, that stuff was fun, man. What's up, Todd Zacone? Guidus joined us.
Cafro, what up?
What's up, man? First half of the race, average speed 71.4. No way.
It was probably only that average for like 3 miles. We had to slow it down, man. It was rough out there.
Other than that, it was 69.0. Okay, well, I got to get a shout out to the sponsors, man, because they're the ones that keep us going. So, like I said, man, the KMC guys, they've been on board for the show, but look at how much cool stuff they're giving us the opportunity to do. They're giving us the opportunity to come out and hang out with you guys and participate in all these different events. So thank you very much to Ryan Edwards and EFX Tires, too. Ryan Geiser over there. They give us the opportunity to come hang out with you guys, so please support them as much as possible. James and I are both twinning. We totally planned this. I called him this morning early, made sure he had the same hat on as I did.
Black shirts, gray shorts.
Done. Thank you to the guys over at Shock Therapy. Justin Smith's going to be calling in a little bit later. He's just a fantastic human being in general, but he's been on board with the show the whole time. They really, really support everything that we're doing. You can use the code DIRTLIFE over at shocktherapist.com. Get yourself some swag. You can get any of the cool parts that they got. Ryan Edwards is even probably going to run their steering rack on his Turbo S. That thing's pretty badass, but you can save a whole bunch of money. Call them up. Tell them that Dirt Life sent you and save a grip. The guys over at Zollinger Racing Products, we talked about it on the last show. Travis Zollinger is going to be building a couple of the RS1s that are competing in that RS1 Ironman Challenge for the Baja 1000. So go support those guys, man, because they're doing fantastic stuff over there with their CNC stuff. You can use the code DIRTLIFE, save a whole bunch of money on the ZollingerRacingProducts.com. And like I said, you can call them as well. The guys over at Cryo Heat. Oh, Josh over there, man, he's doing fantastic work protecting metal, making it smoother, less rolling resistance. You can use actually, they don't have a code yet set up for us, but you can call them up, tell them that Dirt Life sent you, show them some love. And the guys over at Solder Weld, you can get yourself a Solder Weld off-road repair kit, welding blanket. You can use the code DIRTLIFE at solderweld.com and save a whole bunch of money. All right, what comments came in, man? Guy just said, "Yeah, Jim and George, bring back tacos next time."
I mean, to be honest, we brought some from Trilero just to the house, which was 3 blocks away, and it's just not the same, man.
Yeah, you got to eat them live, dude. So much better.
You got to get with us on the next run.
Official 55 Racing says, "Gotta love all style of racing. Hello from Michigan." Yeah, dude. I don't know what's going on in Michigan up there, but holy cow, it was cool down in Mexico. It was my first time that I ever went down there to participate in an off-road race like the Baja. I've been down there a few times with short course and stuff like that, but this is totally different. So, Eric Cozen says, "Sounds like a good show." Oh, look at E-Snacks. You might know her, huh? El Poblano Tacos. We had a kind of, I don't know, a rating
battle.
I don't know. It was so good, though, dude.
It was good.
I gave him, an 8.9 or something?
There's a lot of taco shops down on the Baja Peninsula, you know, and depending on where you're at, everybody's got their favorites. But Erica did take us to El Poblano, which was on the south side of Ensenada.
And you got to remember who Erica Sachs is. She's the snack queen.
Yeah.
So her taste buds are like on another level. So if she says it's good, you know it's good.
It was fire.
It really was.
It was the best adobada taco I have ever had. Probably.
Yeah, it was really, really good.
Con queso.
And she got extra guac for us.
Mm-hmm.
Whoo-wee. But yeah, tacos and Valley Tea, everybody likes those, and everybody likes El Trolero too. So McLaren 101 says he calls shotgun next time. Man, I was pumped that I got the opportunity to sit shotgun with Ryan Edwards for some of those pre-running days. It was cool. Chase 3 to Justin commented in Chase 3 to race 3909 radio check.
Yo.
Oh, those guys had a good time chasing.
Yeah, Raptor boys did it.
And, yeah, it looks like Lindsey Geiser already commented El Poblano is so good. But isn't El Trolero? We'll have to ask her if that beats El Trolero for her. When did the car break? Well, there's two.
I wasn't in the car when it broke.
There's 2 times. Let me get through some of these other comments, and then we'll get to Ditfield's question right here. Dave Levinson said, hey, guys, Eric Kozin just gave us the horns. Let's see here. Sadie Gray says, yeah, buddy, what's up, guys? April Edwards said 19% tax. Pretty much.
Yeah.
That's a funny story too.
Yeah.
Man, all of these trips have so much behind them that people are talking about. John Huppert says, didn't I tell you Baja is epic going down for the 1,000? We'll have to see. It'd be cool if these guys could get some support to be able to race the 1,000. I would definitely join them again. But honestly, man, I'm up to go for anybody. It's just really cool being down there. I was surprised at how effective everybody was, how much effort all the teams put in and everything. So we'll talk about that a little bit more when some of our guests come on too. David P. says, George, check out Corey Sappington's Facebook page. All right, I'll check it out. Man, I'm online so much, though. Let's see. Richard HPR Harding says HPR Rugged is watching. Well, thank you guys for watching. We appreciate it, man. So our first guest is going to call in is Lindsey Geiser. She's probably going to hit us up in a little bit here. It'll be cool to talk with her and get a little bit of understanding of what she had going on with the team that, what do they call them? She made a comment. Oh, team safety colors, the RPM team.
When? What?
She
Was
made
I
a
there?
comment. Maybe. I don't know.
I might have missed
But she
that
called
one.
it team safety colors. You know why, right?
Why?
Because it's fluorescent yellow and fluorescent orange.
Copy.
So, but those trucks were pretty badass, man. It was cool to see that 2-engine truck down there, too. Ditfield said, I'm down for the B1K for my birthday. Chase 69 full effect. Redhead Racing says, what's up, guys? So, yeah, it's going to be pretty cool to talk about all these stories, man. What was the favorite part for you that was outside of racing?
Getting to put on pre-run miles and seeing Erica, my little sister, and then obviously, my mom and Chuck, my stepdad, Erica's dad, being there with us, chasing. We kind of did it pretty family style, you know? Like we had our friend group.
Yep.
But, parents, Ryan's dad being with us and his brother co-driving.
Yep.
And then
your mom, your stepdad.
Yeah, it's cool.
Whole bunch of different friends.
That's a fun way to do it, you know?
It was cool, though, to see everybody had, like, I don't want to say their place because that might sound weird, but everybody had, like, a place that they really, like, took effect from, right?
Right.
Like, when I saw your stepdad, Chuck, out there doing his thing, all he did was do everything the way he knew how. It was, like, perfect setup, dude. Like, he's so experienced at doing that stuff. So it was pretty rad, and then people were making decisions on the fly. It was cool to see. I have never actually experienced stuff like that before at that level.
Right. I mean, there's a lot that happened, with just our team. So when you break it down, on a Baja trip and you actually go through the paces of racing, it takes a ton.
Yeah.
It's not just about money. It's about who's with you, how everyone's rolling. There's a lot of logistics to it. And the bigger the team, the more there is to take care of,
Yeah.
Chase trucks, like what's going in what trucks. And
I was surprised how many chase trucks it actually took, man, to be able to do all this stuff. It looks like we got Lindsey Geiser. What's up, girl? How are you?
Hey.
I'm good.
Let me see if I can make sure that your audio's coming in strong. Are you still at the office today?
I am. I'm catching up on work.
Super tired or what?
I'm a little tired. It was a long day yesterday, but I'm glad to be back.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with you on that. So what was the favorite part that you had about Baja? Because James was talking about the camaraderie and the family aspect of it. We kind of asked you before you were going down there, but what was it after the race?
I mean, it's kind of the same thing. Like, I'm down there with my dad and my brother, and we're hanging out the whole time. It's cool to race with them and do the whole Baja experience with the family. And also tacos were my favorite.
Which tacos did you like the best this trip?
We went to the trailer a couple times, and those are always my favorite. We usually go to El Poblano too, like Erica, and because that's more towards where we stay. We stay way out by La Bufadora, which is like 40 minutes south out of town. So El Poblano's right there, and they have really good tacos too, but we didn't go there this time.
Dude, those were fire. Did you get any El Pastor, or did you just get carne all weekend?
I'm just carne. And I usually get shrimp too, but they didn't have them. Someone said it's out of season for shrimp right now, so maybe at the 1,000.
There's no stock on shrimp, COVID inventory?
I'm not sure, but the tuna, what's the fish cannery? That place was firing for sure. When the wind blew our way, it was.
I almost threw up. We were driving by that place, man. I asked a couple times. I'm like, "Can we take a different route to get around that place?" And they're like, "Nope, we got to go this one way."
Yeah, it gets pretty rank down there.
Hey, so we didn't get to talk to you much because everybody is so busy during race day or all that stuff. But, obviously we saw you at Tech and Contingency and, driving down the road and stuff like that. But what kind of, maybe give us a little bit of a background on how your whole, I don't know, we'll call it a week because it was Thursday through Saturday went for you.
So we went down with Redline and RPM. Redline, Jax just got a new truck. He bought Smiley's old G6 truck, and so this was his first race in that, which was pretty cool. They're getting it ready. He will be racing the 1,000 with Ken Block, so they'll be racing this truck. So this was kind of like get him in it and get used to it, get some miles on that trip. So we came down with him, and the 4-wheel drive came back out. They haven't raced in just over a year. So that was pretty cool to have him back out. And then the twin engine, which has been racing and doing pretty well. We got off to a bad start with all 3 trucks by mile. I think it was the first Jax and the twin were having issues around 170, before 170. And then, the 4-wheel drive started having some issues around 225, but we were able to get them all fixed and get them back on the road. So everybody finished. Finished around midnight to 2. All 3 trucks finished. So it was good to get everyone to the checkered. That's always a good feat.
Like a massive plus, right? Do you know how your guys ended up doing?
I think I saw, trophy truck, who knows, because it's a mess, but I think I saw 12th and 14th, and then the Legend truck got 3rd in their class. So
that's pretty rad.
Yeah, it was good.
Hauling butt, actually.
Yeah, but
where did you guys stay at when you were down there?
We get houses out by it's kind of by La Bufadora, so it's like, I don't know, it takes us like 45 minutes once we get out of town south. But we get a bunch of houses out there right on the beach, which is pretty cool. And then one of our friends has a shop right down the street, so we can keep all the trucks and make them safe. So that's usually where we stay out there.
Hey, so I was looking at some of the results, and actually I'm looking at them right now. Branden Sims, who is going to come on in just a little bit here, he placed 30th overall, and he was the first UTV in the Pro Turbo class. He beat all of the 10 cars.
That's crazy. Yeah. People are hauling it.
Can you believe that?
I can believe it. They're there. With what I saw, I did 230 from start to 230 or 225. Man, it was technical tight stuff and some silt beds, and there wasn't, we were just having more of a cruise pace. I wanted to make sure the car would be good, but yeah, the all-wheel drives, the Polarises just rip up that short stuff where.
Well, let me ask you a question then. Is it an advantage on a certain course, or is it just that the UTVs are getting that much faster?
Well, I think it was just shown at Silver State. I mean, some of those guys ran up in Class 10s, right? Which is more of a lengthier course.
Well, let's see here. So
as far as like road traveling,
Class 10, Branden Sims crossed the line at 12:15. He took him 12 hours, 15 minutes. The first Class 10 car was 8 minutes behind him.
The Razor's so nimble, and really, like, Sims got a beautiful car. It's a great platform. Does he have a 33-inch tire on it?
That I don't know. I don't know what he
I
runs.
would assume so, unless
we can ask him when he comes on.
Right, but yeah, I mean, all-wheel drive, like, it just eats up all that tight stuff, and the car's a little more nimble. And sure, just because the horsepower is not there, man, power to weight's good and everything else.
It's bonkers to me to feel like when we were talking about this last year, the evolution of I mean, Lindsey, actually, you could probably say this better than what I could even say. Like, how gnarly is this? How UTVs are coming up so far?
It's insane, yeah. But like you guys were saying, I mean, I think it's a combination of the way they're built, and they're fast, and they can get through stuff that other cars can't. But no, it's crazy. It's kind of cool to see them up there and competitive like that.
Oh, you're talking about because the four-wheel drive, like what James was saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess four-wheel drive, I don't want to say cheater status because that's what they are, but compared to a 10 car with two-wheel drive, you drive totally different, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Could you imagine if you only had a UTV, production UTV and two-wheel drive, man? It would be quite a bit slower.
Yeah, no reason to.
That would be crazy. Man, it was cool seeing everybody out there, though. Was it nice for you to reunite and kind of see, I don't know, COVID not affecting things so much?
Yeah, it's always good. We had plenty of time at Tech to go talk to everyone. We were there for, 3 hours?
Yeah.
It was pretty gnarly. We were there for a long time. We were there for long enough that you should definitely, I don't know if you've seen it, but you should definitely check out, we had two different teams that we called them. We had the Tech team that went down there and was hanging out with us, and we also had another team that was all of our friends that went and got had drinks and had a fun time down in Ensenada. So we had a little video that we put together. It was hilarious. I was like, damn it, why was I at Tech? Because those guys were killing it in Mexico.
Yeah, they were downtowning hard.
Pretty freaking.
While we were out there standing in line.
Yeah, sweating our asses off. Hey, do you want to hang out with us for a little bit while we talk to Branden?
Yeah, sure.
Well, we got him coming up in just a second here. I accepted him. Branden Sims, what's up, homie? How are you?
Oh, I'm just pulled over on the side of the road. Figure I'd get over, get this interview done, and enjoy a little talk with y'all.
Oh, right on, man. Well, we appreciate you hanging out with us. That's for sure. Hey, so first of all, congratulations, dude, on the win. That's so sick.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, it makes it that much better when you can come home with a victory, right?
Yeah, it does. It does make the long drive home significantly more enjoyable.
So what was some of the significant things that you can talk about that were happening with your race team? Because I know that you guys went down there and did a little bit of pre-running, but not much.
Yeah, yeah, that's pretty standard with my program. I don't have the big money that a lot of the other teams have. And most of my team is consisted of, friends and family that want to come help and join and be a part of it, So we actually went down. We left Phoenix area early Wednesday morning and arrived in Ensenada sometime Wednesday late afternoon. By the time we got settled in and everything, we had a hotel right there downtown Ensenada that Baja Designs helped me take care of. Right there, the Bahia, basically right below the flag there in downtown Ensenada. So we were right in the heart of Ensenada, which is kind of cool because you're close to everything. So, basically we got unloaded and everything, checked in, went and had some food. And I woke up Thursday morning at about 5 a.m. before the sun had even come up. And I woke up puking, and I've never done that before, ever. I haven't had that kind of issues in forever. And I don't know if I can contribute it to, food poisoning or what, but it was kind of weird to wake up to that and I had the most upset stomach I've had in years. So that was a little bit of adversity that I had to deal with that morning, because I planned on doing some pre-running that morning. My friends all went and got me some Pepto-Bismol, a whole bunch of stuff to get my stomach back into check. And we actually ended up getting a chance to go pre-running around noon or so. And I pre-ran from race mile 0 to, I think, like 105, and got a lot of good notes. We don't get to pre-run a lot. So fortunately, my co-driver, Skyler, I've been sending him to school with Erica, and he's been
you know her.
Yeah. So he's been learning a lot, and it's really helped our program out by having him knowing what he's doing and able to relay me exactly what's going on. I mean, I think that's an important part of the whole racing is an effective navigator, and he's been doing a great job at that. It's been a huge help in my program. So Erica's school has definitely been paying off. So it's been pretty cool to be able to send him to do that. So basically, we got a lot of pre-running done. Well, we got that first 100 miles knocked out on Thursday. And Friday, we figured we'd go down and knock out some miles on the coast, because him and I were going to solo the whole race. So we had to figure out a way to pre-run both sides. So we went down to like 380 and got ready to unload the car, my pre-runner, and I climbed into it, and there was no key in the ignition. I evidently forgot the key in the hotel room, which was not very cool, because I ended up taking the ignition out of the car. I got my grinder out, and I started grinding it down until I could get all the pins out of the lock cylinder. And we ended up using a flathead screwdriver as the key for the rest of the weekend in that car. So that was a little different. We spent a couple hours, and it was a little frustrating because we were about to head back to the hotel and not actually get to pre-run. So we actually got to do the 380 to, I think, wherever we weren't allowed to pre-run anymore. I don't remember what number it was, but we got to put in a little bit of mileage there, which was pretty cool. And I
feel like that's crazy though, because wasn't the part that you did before 225 like 150 to 225 the gnarly part, or no? Which was the gnarliest part?
Well, I mean, Branden can answer that because he saw it later, but yeah, it was. I mean, for me, it was slow, like crawler speed sometimes, where I'm like, what am I doing?
Yeah, was that the cutoff there? Or?
Yeah, the cutoff basically, like, so you got to do the good part to Valley T, but Valley T outbound, right? The one that crossed over to where you were, I don't know.
I got
like
to do the whole course.
Yeah. I mean, there were some rough spots, man. So
yeah, that was definitely the cutoff there, because I only had 2 chase trucks. So I had a chase truck in Valley T there, and I had another one at 252 or something like that. So once we left Valley T, I was super stressed the entire time. I did not want to break down up there, and I knew it was going to be brutal, and I didn't get to see any of that part of the course. So it was all just fresh learning. I was learning as we go, So fortunately, racing Best in the Desert and stuff, I kind of that's how we race all of our races. We don't get to pre-run, so
right.
It's kind of just basing everything off of what we see on the GPS and learning real quick what's going on. So. Yeah, I was super stressed about breaking down up there. I did not want to have to be stuck up in the mountains, in those silt beds or any of that stuff through the night. So I kind of backed it down a little bit through there. And then as soon as we made it back to the coast, I picked it back up. But race day came, and as soon as we got to the start line, man, we didn't have our extra D-rings on our seatbelts, so we were like 7 vehicles away from starting. I could see the numbers counting down, and the tech guy came up to me and made sure I put those on. So we had to go over to PCI real quick, and they set me up with some D-rings, and we're installing those D-rings as we're going over the little tabletop thing,
right,
into the start line, which was, oh man, that was a wicked adrenaline rush right there. Just trying to get ready. We're sweating, And then as soon as we get to the start line, the car in front of us, the very last arch, it said like King on it. It fell over right in the middle of the course. And I saw the guy stop, and he didn't know what to do, and he ran it over. And so as soon as my light turned green, I had the next arch started to fall down, and it hit the top of my car. And then I had to drive over the top of the King arch that was still full of air. And then all the railing was falling over as we were driving by it. It was kind of a
Terracross, dude.
Yeah, it's exactly.
Hey,
what
you
it
know
felt
what
like.
to do?
Yeah. Oh, we jumped it. Don't worry. I didn't let off. I was like, well, I guess we gained some time here.
That's funny.
And then we started running into traffic pretty quick. I had a couple battles with some people that didn't want to move. I actually ended up bumping a guy pretty good, and then it looked like he caught up to the guy in front of him, and then those two were connected to each other. They got tangled up, and so then I got to pass two guys at once at that point, which was super cool. It was pretty unfortunate the guy didn't move, because he would have saved himself a bunch of trouble by not having to jackrabbit on me and take himself out of the race, I thought.
Right.
After that, we had a pretty uneventful race all the way until, we started, I think, 28th, which was, I think, 3 away from last. And so we dealt with a lot of UTV traffic. And for the most part, most people got, it was really nice. The crossover was pretty uneventful. There was a lot of carnage out there, obviously. I mean, there was cars everywhere. I saw people off cliffs. Nobody looked like they were in distress or anything, but there was definitely a lot of carnage going on. Once we got over the coast side, that was my next scheduled pit stop at 2:52. And once we got there, I knew we were back. I wasn't going to be spending the night out in the desert, so I picked the pace back up significantly. And we didn't run any of that part either. We didn't get to pre-run any of that section all the way up till 380. So the coast section was super new to me. There's so many different options to do. And actually, now that I think about it, I know there's a lot of penalties assessed. And now that I think about it, I was just going to reiterate, I was in the speed zones and I was watching my GPS, and I was watching GPS simultaneously as the Stella, and I made sure not to speed. I mean, I was getting bumped in speed zones by other people in our class, which I thought was quite strange. I mean, I was doing the speed limit, so I don't know why I was getting bumped in these speed limits and or in these speed zones. I'd look back and I'd be a quarter mile in front of somebody as soon as I hit the asphalt, and man, by a mile into that asphalt, they would be right on my ass. And I was like, man, these guys got to be speeding, and I just couldn't figure out if they didn't think they were going to get penalties or what, because it happened all over the place. And
I feel you. I got slammed by a car from your class that had issues and obviously wanted to pass, so slammed in the speed zone and passed, and then it walked away from me. I mean, in a little bit, just kept creeping. I'm like, man, I am on the Stella at 36. Like, I couldn't be more precise in trying to keep that speed,
Right, exactly. And that's how I felt too.
Yeah.
It was quite frustrating. It felt like I was racing people in speed zones, which I shouldn't. I feel like if I'm going 25, I probably deserve to get bumped. But I was doing 36, 37 there, making sure I kept it there, and it was quite frustrating, when I was having to deal with that. But, evidently it paid off, because there's a lot of penalties out there that got assessed. And I think I know I didn't speed, and that's, what it comes down to a lot of the time,
Right.
So I guess back to the race, once we did the coast section, I think my last pit stop was around 380, I think, was my last pit stop right before Europan there. And we dropped into Europan. I knew we were winning on time. We had everybody pretty much, locked up on time. I didn't know the exact times, the split times, but I knew we were doing really well as far as timing went. So, I just wanted to run a fast, consistent pace to the finish line. Now, I think around 4:20, I started hearing a weird noise in my front end, and I could feel something in my steering, and I didn't quite know what it was. Obviously, I do alignments on my car before every race. It's pretty obvious that I'm pretty adamant about making sure my car is perfect aligned before every race. My steering wheel's usually spot on. Right there after Europan, my steering wheel started going a little crooked. It was starting to point to 11 and then 10 o'clock. And I'm like, oh, man.
Oh, crap.
That means something's bent, something's breaking, something's going on in the front end. And I could feel it coming on. And I was like, man, this isn't good. So basically, I kept going. The steering got looser and looser and looser. And, man, I had so much play in my steering. I didn't know what really was going on. I thought the steering rack was actually coming unbolted from the mount itself. That's what it felt like to me. And right around 4:30, I want to say I lost complete steering, and it actually ended up on the side of the course in a corner. So I slammed on the brakes and I was like, man, we got to fix this. So I climbed out with a couple bolts thinking that I was just going to slam some bolts to the steering rack. And I got climbed under there, and the mount that the steering rack bolts to, it's like a plate that goes between the differential, and it mounts to the differential itself. You're probably familiar how the Turbo S differential and steering rack mount in there. Well, that plate actually came dislodged and broke off of that mount. So I had absolutely zero steering. So every time I turned the steering wheel, it just moved the rack, you know, in and out, but it never turned the tires. So I tried to get creative really quick. I went to the back of the car, and I didn't have any ratchet straps. So I took the ratchet strap off my spare tire and actually found an effective way to reach in there through my grill and grab onto the steering rack. And I ratchet strapped it to my bumper. I pulled it as hard as I could forward to the bumper. And it actually allowed me to get the steering back a little bit, enough to nurse that thing back to the finish line. And it was quite sketchy. I had a ton of play, but I was still able to steer. And, you know, it was quite frustrating because I knew I had everybody on time at that point, and I lost it at that point as far as timing went. So when we crossed the finish line, you know, we were getting told third place, which was still an accomplishment considering what we just dealt with. And it wasn't until halfway to Tecate on Sunday that I started getting texts when the unofficial results came out that, you know, there was quite a few penalties applied, VCPs, you know, speeding penalties. And there was actually a point on the beach where I actually turned around and went and got a VCP because we'd missed it. So I turned around on the beach section and actually went back to make sure we hit it because I knew how important that was. And, you know, that could be the difference between winning a race and losing a race right there.
So I've never done like a desert race like I was telling you guys when we were pre-running.
Right.
But like it seems to me like I don't want to say it's pretty simple because I've never been in the seats to be in the desert race, but why can't people just follow the rules?
Adrenaline takes over a lot of the time, and you know there's a lot going on. You see tire marks going other directions, and your eyes see different things than what's really going on, and your navigator's usually staring at the GPS, and they're not looking. You know, they put the VCPs in the furthest corner of a turn, and your eyes as a driver or a navigator may look up and see those corners that have been cut. You may miss that VCP by 10 feet. And it's tricky. I mean, especially down there on the coast section. I mean, you really have to pay attention. And, you know, I was pretty adamant about my navigator letting me know where the VCPs were in every corner in case, you know, paying attention to the Stella, because it lets you know if you hit them or not.
Yeah, it beeps on you and does the whole thing.
Hey, so I know you were pretty busy today. Did you actually look at the overall results yet?
You know, I did take a look at the overall results, and it was quite surprised seeing where we landed, especially with the adversity we had towards the end of the race.
Could you imagine if you had a perfect race? But still, like, kudos to you, dude. Like we were talking about at the beginning of the show, you beat all the 10 cars, and you still had some. I don't know if they had adversity, but you had adversity as well. Yeah, you know, I forgot to mention that we were caught up in a couple log jams there that we had to find effective ways around. I had to put that thing in 4-low, and I went around a couple of these ones that, you know, I was going up mountains and going around them, and I was just making sure we didn't go around any VCPs. But, you know, that's where an advantage that we really have over the 10 cars there in that situation. You know, I'm not saying that we're faster than than the 10 cars. I raced against them at King of the Hammers in a more open desert environment, and they're fast. I mean, they got bigger tires, more suspension. I'm assuming their power to weight ratio is quite similar. I don't know exact numbers. And the top 10 guys at that race, I had nothing for them. I'll be honest. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and tell them that we were faster than them at that race. There's no doubt. We just did Silver State 300, and I'm pretty sure we beat them all there. I got third at Silver State 300, and I still think I got all the 10 cars, even finishing in third there. Now, I think it's kind of based on the track. I mean, this course was a little bit more suited for our style of car with the all-wheel drive that we have. And, you know, I could basically pull into a silt field, stop, and then take off again, where any of the other buggies or trucks have a tough time doing that. Yeah, it's crazy, right? Hey, so we're going to switch it up a little bit. Lindsay, have you seen any of the comments coming through? There was like 1,500 comments that said Branden is so good looking, and then Richard Jeffries was, he's so hot right now. Hey, so if you got any, if you're single or you need any help, just hit up the comments, dude.
Yeah, Seth Quintero. Seth Quintero is definitely.
he's
got his eyes on you, man.
Adding fuel to the fire.
Yeah.
And then
to steal some of his women.
A second comment come in that Michael Fernandez said, Brandon's co-driver had a good time at Paris. I don't know what that is. What's Paris?
Oh, no. I don't know. I blacked out way before.
Good man. Good man.
He's welcome to comment on any of that, but I'm going to plead the fifth.
Oh, man, that's awesome. Well, we appreciate you giving us the inside scoop on your victory night.
Yeah, I'm stoked for you, Branden, because, I mean, the last time I saw you was right at the finish or the start when we were all like lining up, you know, and I looked over and you guys said, we're going for number one. I'm like, get it, boys. And that's awesome.
Yeah. There's certain times when I feel like everything's going really well. The car was, the car worked out, prepped well. And you just sometimes you go into a race and it feels really good. It's done that for me a few times at the Mint where I've gone to it and I just feel like, man, I feel like we're going to win this one, and this was kind of one of those instances where I felt really good going into this race. The car was more prepped than it's probably ever been. And everything just felt really good on the car. There was no other issues with the car other than, I beat the car through most of the race and it took its toll on that mount. But that's something I'll be addressing and it'll be fixed before the next race. And I won't have to worry about that again. So I'm super pumped that, we didn't even have to get out to change a belt, not a tire. We didn't have to get out of the car until that one issue there at the end. That's
awesome. So you guys actually, how to use the P-tubes then?
Yeah.
Nice.
We had an effective P-tube the entire time. And, at this point in life and how many times we've raced it, it just comes out no problem nowadays.
Right.
That's cool, man. So if you had to pick one thing, I asked James this question at the beginning of the show. If you had to pick one thing that was the most fun other than the race, what would it have been?
The most fun other than the race. Man, we didn't really have a lot of time down there before the race. It was all work for us. I know a lot of these teams got to go down there and spend a bunch of time, and they get to enjoy a lot of it, and we go down so late that it turns into pure work. But, I tell my guys, I don't want this to be a work trip, so let's do something, let's make this an effective trip, but still have a good time doing it. I don't want to be a boss down there, and I enjoy my friends being down there with me and not making it, a drag on them. So, I mean, we went to Papa's as soon as we got there and had a couple beers and just kind of enjoyed it, our travel time down there. That was the most relaxing time we probably had was that first day that we got there a little early, and we just went over to Papa's and kind of hung out and had a team meeting and just kind of enjoyed it, kind of relaxed. Other than that, it was all, straightforward work.
All business to win that race, man. It is no small feat for any team. It doesn't matter whether you're in a Class 11 car or a trophy truck or any of the ones in between to be able to manage to win an event like that. And I told these guys and people in our audience, that was the first time that I got to go down to Baja to participate in a desert race. I've gone down for short course and other stuff, but for me to actually see the logistical portion of it, the camaraderie portion of it, the team effort, like I was so amazed by the direction and the positions that everybody kind of fell into that they're good at. It's phenomenal, dude. Like, you got to appreciate every single hand that's in the team.
Yeah, you do. Without your team, you've got nothing, and exactly what you said. My team all kind of figured out what they were good at, and they just did it. I didn't have to ask them much. They kind of just knew the task at hand. And the nice thing is they want to go down there and be a part of a winning team as well, and that really makes a big difference. When you've got a team that's doing really well, your whole team has the adrenaline going, and they sure do enjoy just being down there. And it makes a big difference when you've got that.
It really does, man. And how many people did you have chasing? Because that was another thing that I was pretty amazed by, actually. How many people cross over that crossover and how many people are actually running around finding the vehicle?
So my program's always pretty limited. I've only got, so much money. I wasn't born into money, and everything we've done has been something that's been done basically through my race program. So I had 2 trucks. One of my buddies has a truck almost identical to mine, so he let us use it or utilize it. He was there with us. I had a total of 9 crew members.
It sounds pretty similar to what we had.
Yeah, I had two trucks that chased the entire race, and I want to say 9 crew members, and then the 2 people in the car the entire time. So a total of 11 of us, and I just had them. We kind of sat down the couple nights before and figured out where we wanted to pit. Just looked at Google Earth and where the course lined up with what would work for us. I didn't go down and pre-run where we wanted to pit at. One of my guys is telling me 7 in the crew, 9 total.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
7 plus
So
you and Sky.
We had 7 in our crew. And that's how we've always done it. We've done it. I usually do Vegas to Reno with 1 chase truck. It's just the way that we've always done it. I've had too many hands in there before, and it actually turns into a cluster, and it actually seems to be less effective. So it seems like we do a little bit better with the perfect amount of the right crew.
That is actually a pretty good point to bring up too. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got to trim the fat. You don't need any excess stuff, if you will. But man, I was just so amazed. Lindsey Geiser, thanks for giving us a notice. Her phone died, so she's going to call back in just a little bit here. But we talked about a bunch of different stuff when we were out there. And again, for me, this is like not even a refresher course. It's like a beginner course, right? Because I don't understand how this stuff works as much as you guys do. But I got an understanding of how trophy trucks operate down there. I got an understanding of how Class 11 operates, and again, everything in between. And to me, it didn't really make that much of a difference. I mean, there's more money in bigger teams, right? But everything is almost the same in between. Just people pick what they want to do and how they want to do it a little different.
Yeah. I have guys that enjoy being the fueling guys, and that's their thing. I have guys that like to be, in charge of the truck, kind of like a truck captain, and they're good at it. So, it kind of just everything falls into place. Everybody kind of knows what they're good at. Some guys are better at speaking on the radio and communicating to me what's going on, where we're at than others. And everybody just kind of does it. We don't really have arguments. Nobody feels left out. It just works.
That's perfect.
Did you have any fun times that were down there, like during the race when talking shit on the radio or like anybody messing around with you?
We only have radio communication for such a little amount of time. We try to get all the business part figured out. And me and Skylar talk a lot throughout the race. I try to talk to him just as friends, and he starts getting mad because he's trying to communicate to me where we're going and what's going on. So, sometimes it's nice to let him know I'm still there, and I don't want him just sitting there talking to himself the whole time. So every once in a while I go through. I got sent some videos of our pit stops, and it's kind of funny. I'll start posting some stuff this week. I didn't have a lot of service down there, and we were busy the entire time, so I didn't get to take a lot of post or pre-race kind of pictures or what was going on. So I'm going to try to knock some stuff out this week and see if we can't post some funny stuff. It's kind of funny. I was listening to a couple of the videos that they did of the pit stops and stuff and it's kind of funny to listen what's going on. So it's I'll share that with everybody so they can kind of see what happens at a pit and
yeah, because you don't even get to see that, so it's like new to you too.
Yeah, exactly. I have never know what's going on, so I don't know. I'm just sitting in the car listening to what's going on, and I just hear when they say go, I go.
Is that Subi Mike? Was that
what he said?
Was that comment to you? It says, "Thanks, James. Did you see the tree? It's cool."
What tree?
I have no idea what that means.
Wait,
is that like an inside joke?
I don't know.
Maybe he's talking.
Mike, he had the truck, right? They chased us. They went out to like Ojos and then waited for Ryan to come back through, which ended up being a early morning Sunday. But my AC in my truck wasn't working well, and it hasn't been. I honestly was irritated about the whole thing. So he found a cabin filter and took it out, which I'm a UTV guy, dude. I don't work on trucks, And, man, the AC's cranking now, so thanks,
nice.
Mike.
Well, Subi Mike, I don't know if you have an inside joke.
I don't know what the tree is.
But maybe that's an inside joke that he's talking about what Branden has with his crew. It's Erica. Erica's telling you that. Man, it's pretty cool that so many things come full circle, right? Like we always talk about camaraderie on the show, and Erica was able to hang out with us a little bit while we were down there. It's neat to see her expertise for a guy like me. Obviously, James already knows it, and to see it affect you guys in a positive way is pretty rad too. And what's her company name, James?
It's Waypoint Nav.
Yeah. So, and Erica was telling me that she's got some pretty awesome stuff coming up for the navigation, like classes and different awesome things. So if anybody wants to check that out, they should definitely check it out, because you can be a winner like Branden if you know where you're going.
Yeah.
That's right.
I agree. I'm stoked that you guys are doing that too.
Yeah, no, Skylar actually was one that hit me up about it. He was the one that he talks to Erica quite a bit, and she helps him a lot, which really makes our program, effective. And Skylar's like, hey, Erica's got this class going on, and I'm interested in doing it. And if somebody's interested in learning more, I'm all about it. It can't hurt our program one bit. And I know for sure that we've gotten faster since I've sent him to Erica's school, and she really helps us out. If we have an issue during race day, pre-race, she's right on it. Her and Skylar get along really well, and she's always helping us anytime we need it, which really helps.
Hey, so I think one of the main questions is, because we were all like passing out on the way home yesterday. Are you pretty tired this morning or today?
Yeah, I drove home after we finished. I drove home all day yesterday, and I'm pretty tired today. I woke up, my hands are a little sore from holding onto that steering wheel, but it makes it sure worth it when you come home with a good finishing position.
You'll have to take a picture of the trophy or the medal. This one is one that James got. Yours is
we managed to make it in time.
Yeah, just a few hours short, but
barely got in there, so that was cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Hey, so another statistic that I wanted to say, first of all, again, congratulations on yours, but when we were looking through the results, actually I had somebody direct message us as well. It looks like overall in the classes that only about, I think he said 40% of the actual vehicles finished the race. And so like I looked at some of the
on overall entries?
Yeah, out of everybody.
Wow.
Like it just so happened that only that many people finished, and it was crazy to see too. These guys actually got Ryan Edwards and James Hill. They got a fourth place, and there was 12 drivers, something like that. You thought it was further back. I don't know what it was, maybe 15 drivers or whatever. But you could have gotten up there higher, but everybody behind you couldn't cross the finish line in time. I'm sure there's guys that crossed the finish, but that's just insane to see that 75% of those drivers didn't make it.
Yeah. I think it was a rough course. I mean, like I said, we were just trying to cruise, so.
It was pretty.
It was a brutal course. I'll give it to you. That whole crossover was pretty brutal. That and the start and the finish line were quite brutal. The most enjoyable part was I really enjoyed the coastline. It was fast and fun.
We got Jeff Proctor on with us, too. He was driving a 7200 truck, so we can let you go, Branden, and we really appreciate it, man. It was super cool to see you actually go out there and do so well, especially with a minimal amount of time on the track, dude. You kicked some serious ass this weekend.
Yeah, way to go.
Kind of how our whole program's always been. We don't have a lot of time on the course, but we make do with what we've got, and sometimes I'm a little faster when I don't know what the course looks like.
You don't know where to go.
You're not checking up for everything. I know that when we start making notes, I check up a lot more because it's safer. But definitely when you don't have notes and you don't know where you're going, you definitely are running a faster pace because you don't know. There's nothing to be scared of if you don't know what's there.
Hey, Dusty Summit just commented in. We'll let you go, but he said the grudge match is back on with the Class 10s since you beat them all. So
yeah, we're gonna have to find a little bit different course than out there in Johnson Valley. They've got me there. I got nothing for them in Johnson Valley. Maybe a couple more years.
Hey, thanks, buddy. I really appreciate it. And I'm going to hit you up in the next month or so and see if we could, a little bit later on this year, that we could get you on the show and have you as our featured guest, if that's cool with you.
Definitely. Let's get something going.
Thanks, homie. Have a great one.
Thanks, guys. Great job, Jeff.
Thanks, Branden.
You too, James.
Thanks,
Later,
man.
guys.
Thank you very much, Jeff, for calling in. We know you're a busy guy having, I think you're at a surf trip with your son, right?
Yeah, I'm actually down at the beach, a little father-son surf trip with a couple of his friends, and just a little time off before we get back to the grind in the office.
Dude, well, that's super cool. So congratulations on your win down there on the Baja 500. It was amazing to see you guys complete. I don't know, man. It looked like you guys were hauling the mail when we got to see you guys cruise by.
You know, I have to say that was probably one of the most challenging technical Baja 500 courses that I've ever raced. I mean, it was like the guys who designed the course found every silt bed imaginable with minimal crossing and put a VCP in every single one out there. And, man, it was tough. We knew it was going to be tough after we pre-ran, and you know, Evan Weller, my navigator, and he's also a prep mechanic. Gosh, man, we spent a lot of time pre-running, and we knew it was going to be tough, and I think our pre-run notes really paid off.
Oh, hey, let's switch it up real quick because we got a great comment that just came in. Dusty Summit says, Proctor, can you explain to everyone why the Ridgeline is the ultimate overlanding vehicle? Prove to the Toyota haters wrong.
Yeah. So I think when it comes down to Ridgeline, you know, everyone in our industry is, you know, they're hardcore truck enthusiasts, and we definitely get that. But the Japanese really know how to build a vehicle, specifically Honda, that appeals to the mass market. If you look at the majority of the way people use their truck, the majority of them don't use them like off-road racers and like a Raptor down in Baja. They use it as a convenience tool to go to Home Depot to get pots and pans and pick up their flowers for their garden, you know, on the weekends. That's what the average person uses the truck for. So going back to appealing to the masses, you know, Honda built an independent suspension, four-wheel suspension truck. It doesn't have a solid rear axle, but the utility of it is just as effective as, let's say, a Toyota Tacoma, etc. I mean, if you look at the towing capacity of it, it still tows 6,500 pounds. So what can a stock Ridgeline do that your average Toyota Tacoma can't do is the question. Just because it doesn't have a solid rear axle. So, you know, and dollar for dollar, resale value, overall cost of ownership, the Ridgeline is right there. So, you know, obviously I'm a huge Ridgeline fan, and I race for the Ridgeline. I've been an ambassador of the Ridgeline for a long time. So it's a little bit of a biased opinion, but I mean, go check it out. It's an incredible truck. This new one that they just made a bunch of changes to is even better. And, you know, I don't think it'll let anybody down for what, you know, your average truck buyer is going to use the truck for.
Super cool, man. All right, well, let's get back to some racing. Dusty Summit, don't ask any questions about vehicles anymore. We only want to talk about Baja on the Baja 500 recap show.
Yeah, that's some boring stuff.
You can also check out anything that the Honda Factory Off-Road Racing guys do on Instagram, and then Proctor_race. You can check his out, too. So we already asked the question to James Hill over here and to Branden Sims. What was your favorite part of being down in Baja minus the race?
Oh, man. So I don't know if I want to disclose where we stay, but I'm going to. So we rent a bunch of houses on the beach, and it's just kind of zen for us. We try to get out of the city, and, you know, we try to just focus on our race and focus on us as a team and get away from the city life in Ensenada. And so my favorite part is being down there on the beach. It's beautiful down there. And I'd say close second to that is just being a part of the culture. Love the people. We've made so many Mexican friends down there that we see every time that we go down there, and we break bread with them, and you know, they help us with things. You know, just the other day, I came back from my pre-run late on Friday, and I had some cramping in my neck and my shoulders, and it wasn't something I wanted to go into the race with. And I was like, hey, do you got a massage therapist in the area? Yeah, you know, call this lady. And within an hour, she met me somewhere, and I got a massage before the race started. And it's just little things like that. I just love the people, how caring they are. And, you know, they're just really good to us, and they love the sport.
Yeah, it is super cool to see. And Dusty Summit, actually, since we want to talk about Baja, I know that he does. Do you know who he is, Jeff?
I'm pretty sure I know who Dusty Summit is.
Yeah, so he does some really, really cool stuff, video and content stuff. So kudos to you, Dusty. So thanks for commenting in and hanging out with us. What was one of the questions?
He said smack down like the hand of God.
Yeah, so I had to give him a little bit of love, right? Because I don't want him to think I was an asshole. But no, Dusty does actually a really good job. I actually liked one of his pictures on Instagram because it was something that we actually talked about on the way down when we were doing it with all the boys. So
Okay.
one of the things that I also asked as well before was UTVs have come so far, it's insane, right? And Branden Sims was able to beat all the 10 cars, and to me that was something phenomenal to see, being that it was my first time down there with the Baja 500 race live. I didn't even think that was possible by the speed that I saw some of these Class 10 cars going. But overall, he beat the first 10 car by 8 minutes. And you had some UTVs down there, the Honda Talons, that also did very, very well. I mean, are you seeing the same escalation in the UTVs?
Yeah, I mean the progression of the UTVs is absolutely incredible. Just kind of being at the forefront of it with developing these Talons, as they were new to market. It's really incredible. I will say though, George and James, that that Baja 500 course really favored an all-wheel drive. It was technical.
Agree.
It had a ton of silt, and so. Nothing against 10-car guys. There's a lot of talent in the 10-car class. There's a lot of fast guys in the 10-car class. But I mean, when you have an all-wheel drive UTV and that silt and some of those hill climbs and how technical it was, I mean, there's nothing better that you can be in. I even pre-ran in the Talon, and I looked over at Evan. I was like, this thing's a game changer up in these technical courses. Maybe UTVs aren't necessarily the best for, 60-mile whoop sections or 50-mile whoop sections through San Felipe. But you get in the Titan Technical, and a UTV will pull on pretty much anything out there.
It's cool. I just always see so many things on social media that people are hating on UTVs so much, but it's like the proof is in the pudding, man.
You can't deny the progression of the sport, the growth of the sport. It's all coming from UTVs. Let's stop and think. Where do you think the Mason brothers, and don't quote me on this because I don't know this fact, but I'm going to guesstimate here. Where do you think the Mason brothers got their idea to develop their all-wheel drive trophy truck?
Sure.
I mean, it's coming from the UTVs, how progressive they are and how fast they've become in 10 short years. So, it's an incredible industry, and I love to see the growth of it, and it really is exciting to see it.
Yeah, 100%. And to go along with what your statement was, James will agree with me on this because he's got a broken UTV back here, but it's almost it's virtually impossible, right, to go through those races without an issue. And Branden, even, he's the winner. And he had an issue where he had a steering rack problem or a steering rack mount problem.
And that's solid. And that was solid. His rack was coming apart, or the
mount to the rack was coming apart.
And to be a quick thinker too, that's been the story through years. I mean, Jeff's probably been there. People that win all the time are probably doing the same thing. Holy crap. I'm not going to win now. How can I fix this now?
Yep.
And that's so rad. It makes those trips.
The sport of off-road racing is really a sport of never give up. I mean, it's not a sport. It's not a sport for quitters. That's for sure. And I can't tell how many times I've been down with some sort of an issue, mechanical or not, and we've come back and come from behind and win. These races aren't short. I mean, it took us 12 hours to finish. So there's plenty of time to come back from a little bit of an issue. I mean, let's talk about Rhino. I mean, Rhino got in the car, was a little bit hot, and
Yeah, so James nicknamed him Hot Shoes.
That was pre getting in the car too. I could just see he was so amped up.
Hey, so we can talk as much crap as we want, but he's got the last laugh because he's on at the last part of the show, so we won't be able to rebuttal, okay?
That's fine. I already personally gave him crap in a text message today, so I'm feeling comfortable, outing him a little bit for getting in at the driver's change and taking off a little hot and kind of tipping the car over. But I mean, it's just a testament to what we do in off-road, right? he came right back to the pit. You started tearing down your pre-runner. You put the front arms on, and you guys were back in the race and at the finish line.
Yep.
I mean, how many people in other sports would just give up at that point? So,
yeah, and it goes back to what I was just
love the sport.
Dude, 100%. I was so happy. Like, I had a smile on my face going down there because I didn't know what to expect, and obviously tacos. But when I had a bigger smile on my face coming back, and I was tired as hell. Like, I couldn't even keep my eyes open, but I was smiling ear to ear.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of cool to see that, too. And we were just talking about it. These guys in their UTV came home 4th in class. And
nice.
Had they not...
Good job, James.
Thank you.
It's pretty cool. And had they not fixed the adversity that they had and fixed those issues and spent all the time repairing the car, they would have been way further down because everybody else wasn't able to fix their cars.
Yeah, you know, I always say if you don't finish in Baja, it's a really long borderway getting across the border. So you got to get to the finish line to make that borderway worth it.
Yeah, how much did that, were you tipping your hat to being able to cross the finish line?
Well, I mean, I was stoked, you know, because that's what happens. I mean, you'll be having a good race, and then boom, something goes wrong. How do we get to the finish? What do we got to do?
For sure.
You know, and that's a lot of the stories.
Hey, so let's talk about some of the stuff that pays the bills. How did the guys do in the Talons?
You know, Talons actually had a great race. You know, let's start with the bad stuff first. Let's be honest. Elias had some gremlins with his Talon. I'll own that as a team owner. It was unacceptable. It shouldn't happen. And he had those pretty early on in the race, but he had a never give up attitude. And you know, he fought through those issues. Our team helped him get back on the road, and you know, he got to the finish line after being behind the wheel for 18 hours, I think. Oh shoot! This is a Honda PR guy on the show right now telling me I'm not wearing a Honda hat. So,
hey, in Jeff's defense, Chuck, he did agree to do this last minute because I didn't give him enough time to do it. So he's out with his son on the surf trip. So we just appreciate Jeff coming on and being a good Honda representative.
I always have a Honda hat with me. It just didn't work out this time, so I guess this is the first time for everything, and Chuck calls me out on it.
Hey, that's good though. Now you have something to talk about next time.
but as far as Zach, he really had a flawless race. Pre-running worked in his favor as well. I'll share a little team tactics with you guys. I'm trying to think if I should. Yeah, I'll share this with you. We'll be full disclosure. So going first in the Ridgeline through all that stuff, we have SATCOM systems in our trucks and in our side-by-sides. And so once we see the bottleneck and we see where the issues are out there that we kind of knew from pre-running, but you never really know until you get to the race, Evan was radioing back to the Talons, giving them insight as to where to go and how to get around the bottleneck once we found it and we got through those bottlenecks. So, you know, we had some serious team tactics going on. I'm not afraid to admit that, but we were radioing it back, and it really helped Zach and Elias get through some of those sections unscathed. And we were able to make a pass on Kristen because of that and put some time on the field. So Zach led for most of the race, and unfortunately we had a rear wishbone that failed from the sway bar link. And we'll get that fixed. But he came into the pit. We were down for about 20 minutes, and that 20 minutes really cost us the race. But, you know, we were reviewing data this morning, and I was talking to Zach via text message, and he pulled up the drive time of Caden Wells, Kristen Matlock, and himself, the three people that were battling for that win in Pro NA. And, the Talon, his moving speed, his moving average was 35 miles an hour, 35.4 miles an hour over the course of the race, compared to Caden Wells was at like 33.4 and Kristen was at 32. So you look at his moving time, he definitely had the speed to win. And that's encouraging to us as a team owner and looking at the Talons. You know, we just got to do a better job of keeping that Talon together. And if you didn't have that downtime in the
crap.
definitely won that race. So we're encouraged by that. We're going to continue making our parts stronger. And, again, we're only a year and a half into developing this Talon, and I think there's a lot more progression for it as far as racing goes. But that was encouraging for us to see that his moving speed was competitive to win that class.
Plus, all about the data, man. Yeah, that is super cool. And I know that you actually weren't the only one that was radioing back to help other drivers in their team and stuff like that, too. So, but I do appreciate you sharing that stuff. Christian Serapis commented in and said that you were messing with him out there on course, too.
So Christian was on the side of the road in a speed zone, and when we went by, I took both hands off the wheel to give him like the finger pistols.
Yeah.
And there was a crown in the road, and the truck veered to the right, and it looked like I was trying to hit him.
Nice.
Completely unintentional, Christian.
Jeez. Oh, how funny is that? Hey, you gotta when you're down in Mexico, you told me when you're down in Mexico, you gotta drive like the Mexicans, dude.
Yeah, I mean, live local.
It's a 37-mile-an-hour speed zone. It's quite boring on the highways when you're transitioning from race course. So,
hey, so you shouldn't have told the truth. You should have just said, "Yeah, we were messing with Christian."
I think that's the best part about your show, George, is we just we're transparent. We want people to know what's going on behind the scenes.
It is really cool though, because we can have fire or campfire talk or pit talk, because really it is like the awesomeness of the whole week, the weekend, the event. Like every single person out there, as much as they want to win, not everybody can win. Everybody has to be out there and participate to win. And every single person has a smile on their face.
Yeah, we always say Baja is a magical place, and it really is, and it's really the best place for our sport to go racing right now. No disrespect to Best on Desert or Legacy or any of those other guys up in the States. But,
it's way the vibe is way different.
Yeah, Baja is magical. The people just love the sport. I don't know how true this is, but I've heard that the people of Baja like off-road racing more than they like football. So. The people just come out in droves and really love the sport. And again, we love to put on a good show for them.
Yeah, it's super cool. So like I said, asked you before, what was your favorite part outside of the race? Did you have a favorite part on course?
I like those fast sections along the beach through Arendera, or Arendia, and, just north of maybe Vicente Guerrero when we popped out onto the highway out of the wash. Love those high-speed sections. There's always a lot of fans through there. You got to be careful, but I like when I get to leg it a little bit and really use that Honda HPD engine horsepower. I've never been I don't mind the technical parts, but I've never been kind of the slow and crawl up in the mountains kind of a driver. I like to leg it like most drivers.
I feel like that he just answered the way you're going to answer. Could you answer the same question, James?
Well, I didn't get much of that. Ryan got that good section.
Okay, what was the best part of your first half? Because I got to experience a lot of that part.
Honestly, my favorite portion was starting, getting all the excitement through my system, and really just feeling the payoff.
Yeah.
Because the whole week kind of led up to, even though we were playing around and having fun on the gram, we were also, once we were done pre-running and acting like idiots, we were taking it serious, kind of going over the car, making sure things were right every night, each and every night. And just that initial, hour in the car felt so good to me.
Yeah, because it's probably like a breath of fresh air, right?
It is, just and getting through that start section, because you're also seeing guys that just threw away the race in the first 6 miles.
Yeah.
And you're just going, dang, man, like, you don't want to be that dude, but you're excited.
Yeah.
And you're getting with it, so.
Is that what it feels like to you too, Jeff? Like you can take a breath of fresh air after you get things going?
Yeah, I think that there's a little bit of, anxiety at the start line, like, hey, let's get this going. And there's a lot of hurry up and wait. I mean, you're at the start line 2 hours before, you take the green flag. And then it's like, okay, it's, you always go to the start line. You're confident in your equipment, you're confident in your strategy, your homework and pre-running. You just want the green flag to get started. But I like what James said. He's like, you're kind of looking for that payoff. And the payoff for me is being able to get the truck in perfect working condition to my backup driver, Pat Daly, and deliver the truck the way that I want it to be delivered to me, and so he can do his job. And I think the payoff is getting it to the next driver and saying, hey, I did my job. Now it's your time to go do your job.
Right.
Yeah, totally. I can agree with that. Dirt Rider Designs commented in and said, what will it take to get involved with the team? I know that you actually have a lot of suggestions when people have that question.
Yeah, you know, I always look back to the way I got involved in off-road racing, and honestly, I was passionate about the sport. I wanted to learn more, and I wanted to be educated, and so I just started volunteering at a buddy's shop and started sweeping the floors and being around mechanics and engineers and fabricators and just trying to learn the sport, and eventually worked my way into the right seat of a race car. And I threw up and I couldn't do it. And I said, I'm a driver, I'm not a navigator. And, you know, it's a short story, but I rode bikes for a long time too. But I guess the way to get involved with Team Honda is we're always looking for great people. Send me a DM, let me know your experience. And, the Baja 1000 is coming up. I'm going to need, 80 crew members on the team.
Whew.
70 of them are going to be volunteers. So if anybody's got experience, wants to be a part of a winning tradition with Honda and racing our 3 vehicles to La Paz this year, it's going to be about 1,200 miles.
James, if you guys don't go, I'm going with Jeff, dude.
Yeah.
We are looking for volunteers that understand Baja, understand the risks of Baja, and are willing to go down there with us and help us to victory.
Yeah, that's super cool, man. And like I said, so Dirt Rider Designs, thank you for asking that question. That's actually a meaningful question because we get that all the time in our DMs as well. And there's so many people that are really passionate about racing and they have no idea how to get in. So thank you very much, Jeff. All right, last question, the best question of the night. What was your favorite taco this weekend? Or this week?
It's hands down the queso carne taco, and Valley Tea.
That was good one. That was definitely a good one.
Hands down, there is no other substitute for Valley Tea tacos. And everyone I take down there that's new, they always say Valley Tea was the best taco.
Hey, have you had Tacos El Poblano down? Where was it? In San Vicente or somewhere? It was somewhere coming back up from the loop down at the bottom. But that place was...
This is south of it.
I'm always open to suggestions.
Dude, yeah. We'll definitely, if I go down there for it with you guys for a race, man, we'll definitely have to do it. Dusty Summit wants to tag along with you too, dude. Hey.
Let's do it, Dusty.
So go have some fun with your son, man. I appreciate you giving us the time. And again, congratulations on such an awesome race, man. You had a lot of stuff going on with multiple team members, multiple vehicles, and you still pulled it off for your own race. So kudos to you, bud.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. It feels sweet to get another victory for Honda and all of our partners, KMC, Maxxis Tires. That was the other thing. Those Maxxis tires are incredible. If anybody's looking for side-by-side tires, for sure check out the new Razor XTs. They're amazing. Make sure you pair them with KMC wheels. We can't say enough good things about that partnership. And, just grateful for bringing home another victory. And really, the kudos goes out to the team. I mean, this is a team sport. You drivers know that. And you can't do it without a great navigator. You can't do it without all the great guys in the pits. And, really the win goes to those guys. Those guys wait up all hours of the night. Most of the crew didn't get any sleep.
Big time.
Just trying to get these race cars to the finish line. So they're the real heroes of the sport for sure.
I couldn't agree more, man. Family, friends, it's what it's all about, dude. So, all right. Thanks so much, dude. Get back to your son and have some fun. We really appreciate you joining the Dirt Life Show.
Yeah, thank you guys, and have a good evening. We'll talk soon.
See you later, Jeff.
Take care.
All right. You want to go to commercial break? I know you got to get home to the wifey, too.
Yep.
All right, we're going to commercial break. You guys on Instagram, you guys are just going to have to hang out because I don't know how to turn this thing off and still save it. So
I got to split because if Ryan's coming on, I'm going to let him have his say.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Free speech.
You will say Instagram Live. Just hang on for a little bit. We're going to commercial break on the live feed.
Hello, I'm Justin, the founder of Shock Therapy. Shock Therapy has been around for 5 years, but we have personally been tuning suspension on off-road cars and race vehicles for over 25 years. We tune between 10 and 15 cars per day, every single day of the week. Our concentration is tuning shock systems and supplying components that improve the ride quality of your car in many ways. Not only do we work on the average UTV, but we also tune suspension for race teams and professional drivers. We currently tune for over 87 race teams in Best in Desert and Score. Our clients and race teams rely on our suspension components to allow them to win races and keep them safe. Suspension is a moving target. We are always trying to hit that target with every customer that we work with. Each customer's needs can be different, and we tune our kits accordingly. Our research and development never stops. We improve our components every single day. As the industry evolves and improves, so do our parts and kits. As of right now, we have over 100 products for UTVs. So when you bring your car to us, you have the satisfaction of knowing that you have the most experience, the highest quality products, and the fact that your car is being tuned specifically to you.
Zollinger Racing builds the best aftermarket products available. Products for your UTV or snowmobile, including billet radius rods, billet tie rods, billet steering knuckles, billet steering racks, alternator kits, and much more. All manufactured in the United States in-house at their headquarters in Nibley, Utah. Travis Zollinger and his team test in some of the most brutal conditions, racing in places like the Best in the Desert Mint 400, Ultra 4 King of the Hammers, UTV World Championships, and many more. Visit ZollingerRacingProducts.com and use the code DIRTLIFE to get 10% off your next purchase, and join us on social media at Zollinger Racing Products to see our products in action. Zollinger Racing, the best products, period. Finally, we got Lance from Solderweld in the studio. Thanks for coming down, bud. Hey, why don't we just record a commercial now?
Yeah, why not? So good to be here, man. It's been a lot. I'm trying to get down here forever, and I wanted to talk about the off-road kit.
Dude, I love those things. I got it in my pack.
Yeah, we're running hundreds of vehicles now running them, whether it's a UTV or some guy's got it in a backpack on his motocross. He's got everything he needs to make a fix right there on the fly, out on the trail, or in the desert, whatever it is.
Well, since I've already used one, I kind of know what to use it for, but explain what it does.
All right, so let's pull one out real quick. You've got your aluminum rods. Remember, they're rods, right? So, light torch, small torch. You can throw it in there or throw it on the rig with your flux. It decontaminates and cleans like, let's say, a radiator. You get a random rock chip runs through as you're racing. You get a rock chip in a radiator. You got to fix it right there or you're out of the race.
You can patch it up. It's
all good to go.
Yep, just like welding.
Yeah, also as well with that, you've got a brake line fix. So with your flux, you can fix a brake line, stainless steel, and then your hot block, heat absorption putty. So it keeps you from getting burned, number one, as well as keeps the heat from traveling. So it's really nice.
I've used this not even to fix anything, so that stuff works so good, man.
Listen, it's easy. It straps in nicely so that you have everything you need in one little place, and you don't have to carry a big bag in
It's
the
like a first aid kit for your vehicle.
Yeah, chase trucks have it as well, so that, if they need to make a fix on the fly, they can get it done and get it done quick and get you back in the race.
Dude, those things are so cool. All right, so it's at Solderweld on Instagram, Facebook, and solderweld.com.
Awesome.
All right, thanks, bud.
Appreciate it.
All right, thank you very much for joining us. We really appreciate James for hanging out. He was super tired, just like this guy is. But we got Ryan Edwards. We're going to talk with him in just a little bit here. Let him tell his part of the story about how awesome the weekend was down there in Baja. You got a GoPro here just because it has to be a tighter angle for the live feed. So it'll look a little bit weird right now. So let me actually change it real quick. It was so fun down there at the races, man. I can't tell you guys how cool it is to see all that camaraderie. Like, as enthusiasts, as racers, as, off-roaders, whatever you want to call our group of people, man, it is so cool to be able to see everybody enjoying themselves. I mentioned with Jeff Proctor that everybody had a smile on their face the whole time. It's really true. It was really true. And everybody that came down, there's lots of people like me. I just went down there to go do media stuff. There's lots of people that really don't even have a job per se in the team. They just go down there and put their hand in when it's needed. If they say, hey, go pick up some groceries. Hey, can you go up there and just do a visual on pit 7, wherever it is, they do it just because they love it so much. So it's really cool to see the camaraderie and to have everybody down there just fighting for wins and doing so much cool stuff. A few of the things that I wanted to talk about, like after seeing that, was it really gave me a little bit more perspective on the show. Like on the show, you guys are so into it. Like I love it. I love seeing all the DMs. Like sometimes it gets frustrating because I can't handle all of it. It's just so much for one person to handle, but we're growing and it's awesome to see that you guys are growing with us. You guys are what really provides us with so much, I don't know, just get up and go, man. It's super cool. So keep doing that. Keep hanging out with us. Keep being a part of the show. Keep telling us what you guys like and what you don't like, because it really makes a big difference to me. I know our show is not like all the others. We're not providing like race reports all the time, and we're not talking about the same thing all the time. But I really think it's cool because it's opening up a different type of conversation. We are more about the lifestyle and about off-road racing adventures and doing these things together as a family or friends and things like that. So if you guys don't want to see that, tell me. If you guys do want to see that, then definitely slide into our DMs and tell us as well. I'm just really fortunate to be able to have the opportunity to get introduced and shake hands with so many fantastic people. A year and a half ago, I never thought we would ever be able to talk with this many cool people and have so many people come on the show and want to come on the show. So we're really happy with the way that things are going, and I appreciate it because you guys are the ones that make it so successful. So keep talking about us, keep hanging out with us. Another thing that I want to talk about that I have on the list here is only 18 Pro Turbos finished out of the entire Pro Turbo field, which is pretty phenomenal that 18 vehicles finished that course in general, just because it was so gnarly. But man, it just kudos to Branden Sims for being able to do it, because that's a lot of people that were also taken out of the race too. So, oh yeah, I don't know if we got to show this to you guys, but check out the medal that James got. Ryan Edwards got one too. They're pretty badass, man. They got a tequila bottle, so you guys should go over to our Instagram and check it out too. We put some pictures of the tequila bottle up there as well. So another number, 18 plus hours for most of the teams, and some of them weren't able to even come back and meet the time deadline. So it was pretty cool that a lot of people were able to do it. But man, can you imagine being out there on course for 18 hours and not just driving for 18 hours, working on your car, breaking stuff, whatever it was that you're facing adversity with? It's pretty phenomenal. I mean, I already have a problem driving just in a street car, like 4 hours, 5 hours. So it's pretty cool that these guys are able to do so much stuff. It just puts a real understanding of endurance off-road. It's just insane cool. And I'm glad that I was able to be a part of it this weekend. It was really fun seeing everybody. The vibe in Mexico is like just another level. Like they're so happy down there, and the amount of money that goes into the economy because of the race is pretty phenomenal, because there's so many people that go down there, spend money on tacos, gasoline. I don't even know how to calculate how much gasoline was sold during that event, because it's just phenomenal. Redhead Racing says, I've always heard people see things. That's a no for me. LOL. What do you mean? I don't know. I don't understand what that comment means. So maybe you could tell me a little bit more. Yeah, clearly the tacos were insane. There was so many good places to go. I did pick my favorite, which was Tacos El Poblano down there. But the last thing that I wanted to talk about before Ryan Edwards calls in or whatever is I'm so glad that I brought beat up shoes down there, because there's zero way that you could keep a pair of shoes clean. They're always hammered by the time you're done. So I'm super glad that I brought a beat up pair of shoes when I went down there. It looks like I told him to call in right now at 6:30, but he was supposed to call in at 6:40. So we'll see if he actually calls in. Let me know if you guys have ever been down to Baja, or if you haven't been down to Baja. And adversely, if you've been down there for a race, if you've been down there just enjoy it, or if you've been down there for something different. Maybe you went down there for another event like a wedding or something. Because, again, to me, it was phenomenal. I've heard so many people talk about how crazy Mexico is, but it's really not. It's just insane cool. Lindsey Geiser's going to chime in with us here a little bit too. So hopefully we can get Ryan Edwards on the line. I know he's really, really tired too. So Redhead Racing, like at night, they see people that aren't really there. Oh, yeah, so you're talking about being racing at night. Maybe Lindsey could expand on that a little bit too, because I've never done some super core desert racing. We had a comment come in, Lindsey. Thank you very much for joining us again. That said, people, like when they're driving those long endurance races, that sometimes they start seeing things that aren't really there, like maybe a horizon or people at night, like crazy stuff.
Yeah, my brother and I raced Vegas to Reno, and we did the first quarter and then the last quarter. But we kept saying the same thing. Like, we'd see people up in the mountains and like weird, and look at each other like, was that really there? But yeah, and it's kind of like the guys were talking about earlier, like you, between your adrenaline and just being tired and worn out, like I feel like things just get all misconstrued out there, but it gets crazy.
Yeah, like you start like really doubting yourself. Matt Lesher says he's never been down to Mexico, but that needs to change soon. I agree 100%. Do you?
Yeah, Mexico's a must. I feel like I kind of reset every time I go there. Like, you get so involved in work and everything at home, and I feel like, just like you said, there's just a different vibe in Mexico, and it kind of helps me reset and like relax and just get back into the groove. So
it really does. It's kind of cool to be down there though. And I was just talking about it when James had to hit the road because he had to go home because everybody's tired, right? You included. But the vibe down there is so rad. Like I never thought it was going to be like that.
Yeah, it's crazy. And it's cool. Like, and when it's not COVID and like when we used to have tech and contingency in town, like it's insane. They literally closed the entire town down, and there would be kids there that said they got the day off of school to go to tech and then the next day to go to the race, and like it's a whole deal down there. It's really cool.
Yeah, and everybody's so happy. I mean, even if they're not enjoying the race, they're enjoying everybody being around, like, because it does so much for the economy. Like, I was thinking about it when we were out there cruising, like, getting ready to go, like, to each individual pit stop or whatever it was. How many gallons of gas got sold this weekend from all of the chase crews and race cars? Like, that's just insane.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, they do. I think it definitely, like you said, it definitely helps out the economy, and it just, I mean, they love it, too. That's cool. Even seeing, like, we were going to get burritos on the way out. We're like, well, we could probably get them here, because, you know, that all the moms are out there knowing that all the pit crews are going to be hungry, so they set up on the side of the road with their burritos, and it's cool.
Yeah, and John Huppers actually said bring lots of stickers. Did you guys give out just mad stickers this weekend?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we always bring stuff. We were already planning for the 1,000, making sure we have shirts and hats and stickers, and one time we brought Frisbees and...
Oh, really?
Yeah, people love it.
Dude, we gave out hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of stickers. I remember, like, I didn't bring, like, a big box down to tech, and I was out of them by the time maybe an hour into it, and I was like, shit, like, I should have just brought everything.
We ran out. We were handing out stickers from, like, 3 years ago from, like, a team that doesn't even race. We were this happy, so...
That is pretty cool. Hey, and then so one other thing I was going to ask you, because like I don't understand this because I've never done a long distance endurance race, is kind of going on the same thing that you were talking about. Like you start seeing things. Mm-hmm. Look, maybe give me an understanding. Like if I was going to go out and do a race that took 18 hours, 20 hours, 40 hours, whatever it was, like what the heck does it do to your body? Because I feel like you have to be an endurance athlete, like champion, to be able to do that.
No, honestly, the most I've done was I think 200 miles because I always split with another driver.
Mm-hmm.
And after 200 miles, I was like beat and tired, and you're just like my arms were sore, and obviously I'm not like I don't work out, so I'm not like ready for that. So I think there's a lot of training that goes behind it, but yeah, it's crazy. And like Kristen Matlock, who Iron Woman's every year, and Iron Woman's the 1,000, and Sarah, who did the 1,000 by herself. Like, it's crazy the work I think that goes in before it, but by the end, you've got to just be smoked.
I know. That's what I was thinking too. Like, I don't even think that I could be able to last. Well, 2 hours I think I could do, but like going on the 4 or 5 hour mark, I think I'd start being like pretty beat up. And
Yeah.
these guys go way longer than that. Like, what was the actually Dan McMillan I think got first in the trophy truck class, right?
They haven't announced it yet, unless
Okay.
they have been on here. But
Was it unofficial?
yeah, they had it's unofficial, and then they were saying like the top 5. It really could be any of them. Like it's
Oh wow. Okay.
But so Luke and Andy finished. Technically, they were like 2 seconds apart from each other at the finish. But then there were penalties and weird time things, and so they haven't announced it yet. But
Well, let me generalize my question a little bit more then. So for any of the top teams, maybe like the top 5 guys, do they all do the race like a 500 miles solo, or do they have people helping, other drivers and co-drivers?
it depends. I think most people did the 500 by themselves. I know a lot. I think all teams will probably split the 1,000 this year, just because that's a long time and it's the long run. But for the most part, I mean, all of our guys did the whole thing by themselves. Justin Matney split his, but Jax did it by himself. And I know all the top guy like Bryce and Andy and Luke and Dan and all those guys, they ran the 500 by themselves, which is still, I don't know what the finishing time was, but that's a long time to be in there.
Yeah, 100%. That's what I was thinking too. I was like, man, that's still a crazy amount of time to be able to like last your whole body to be in a race.
Yeah.
So for the 1,000, I think what did your guys' team do?
For the 1,000?
No, for this one. So you were down there with the RPM Geiser crew, right?
Yeah.
So what was some of the strategies that you guys had in place for drivers and co-drivers?
So Jax did the whole thing by himself. He's pretty good. He's endurance. He went out and pre-ran like 2,500 miles, and
Oh snap!
yeah, he's definitely got it. But
Hey, look who's joining us. So, hey, I know we're doing Instagram Live, but I still need to do a proper introduction for the Facebook and YouTube crew. So we got Ryan Edwards and Lindsey Geiser both on the horn here on Instagram Live. So thank you very much, Ryan, for joining.
Happening.
We really appreciate it. KMC IMG crew did pretty awesome this weekend, buddy.
Yeah, I was just currently cleaning the Baja off of my truck. So as you can see, I'm sweating my ass off.
Dang, that thing got used and abused this weekend, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'm on my 3rd pressure wash test, so.
Been working on it for like 8 hours probably.
Yeah, no, I think my dad's still currently out there and he's going to screw it up somehow.
John Huppers also said hood's a lot more expensive than a sticker. Where did you pass it out? I don't know what that actually means.
we lost a couple hoods this weekend. The hoods on the truck, they fly off and people take them right away, put them in their garage. But that's like a more expensive souvenir.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's pretty gnarly. What about a Polaris Razor hood? That would still be a good souvenir.
Yeah.
That one behind you would probably be pretty good since it's like LaCroix painted.
That's funny. All right. So, hey, we asked everybody that's been on the show before you, Ryan, we asked them what their favorite part about Baja was outside of the race.
Well, I mean, the taco tour we took probably was number one.
Yep.
We didn't get to end it with Lindsey like we wanted to, but we got 6 hours of great contingency time together.
Yeah, we did. But
other than that, I think the moment we crossed that finish line, it was pretty good feeling.
Yeah.
After the day we went through. What'd you say?
What time did you end up finishing?
6:30 in the morning.
Yeah, so it's just at 19 hours, maybe a little bit more than that.
Yeah, it was a great day, and I'm pumped we made it there. 15 miles before the finish, that thing let go on the driver's side. I thought I broke an axle, so I just kept going.
We showed earlier on the show, at the beginning of the show, we showed the carnage over there. So, and James was talking about what it did to the car. Lindsey, I don't know if you were able to watch, I mean, because you've been so busy, but on the podium, Ryan got pretty emotional. So we were just talking about, Ryan, like how it fatigues your body to be in a car for that long. Like Lindsey was saying, like even after like a long time, like you can see people that don't even exist, like horizons change, like all kinds of crazy stuff happens. How did you feel after the end of or towards the end of your race, because you were deprived of sleep, you were tired, you had just basically rebuilt the front of a car, like so much stuff happened in that, I don't know, last 8 to 18 hours of your life?
Yeah, I would say, man, that last 60 miles, like I was pretty angry. My brother hated me. I think we yelled at each other no less than 10 times, but the moment we crossed that finish line, like it just all made sense. You know what I mean? Like everything before that, my mind was going every direction. Was trying to think on anything else but the stupid bumps we were going through, the fog we were dealing with, like all that crap. And then the moment I crossed the finish line, like it just all went away, and it was just like a happy moment to be there.
Yeah, it was for sure. And another thing that I was going to say, though, too, is like when you have those emotions and stuff, I've had them a million times because I've been wrecked my whole life with all these different injuries and stuff. But I could see it in your face that you missed your family because your family wasn't there. Like, it was pretty cool that you were able to throw them a shout out, and then afterwards you gave them a call. Like, it's pretty emotional. I mean, even Lindsey started off this conversation or the show by saying she was so happy to be with her family the whole time. So you usually get to do that, and this time you weren't able to.
Yeah, I mean, not having my wife and kid with me was probably the hardest week, but lucky for me, like my dad came down, my brother drove for me, and it's just like the Geiser family. Like we do this because it's what we enjoy. This is our vacation, you know? So not having them there at the finish kind of sucked, but at the same time, like thinking about Gunner and, you know, coming home to him is what just kept me motivated in the car all the way to the end.
There you go. Yeah, and we were talking with Jeff Proctor, and he was talking about what motivates people, so that's one of the motivators for you. That's pretty cool, man. Manny Boy says those last 60 were hell. Was it really that bad?
Yeah. I can't even describe it. Like, Lindsey's probably been through it a couple times, but, I mean, I rode a bike through it 10-plus years ago, and it was nothing like that, but the car was, you know, beat to shit. The fog, like I couldn't even see 2 feet past the front end. Our Parker pumper went out. Like,
and this was what, at 4 in the morning-ish?
Yeah. So right when we left you guys at that 400 race mile 400 pit, that next 60 miles after that, just, man, it was a true testament of like your wits and everything. Cause there wasn't a single smooth part to it. Let's just say that.
And being that fatigued, dude. Yeah, like when I was thinking about it on the way home, in fact, actually when we were crossing the border, I was thinking like, holy hell, how would I do being that fatigued? Like, kudos to you for doing that, man.
I don't even know how you train for something like that. Like you just literally probably like you ride your bike for 100+ miles and you would still get in that car and think, what the hell am I doing?
Yeah, exactly. Tristan said, go for Gunner.
Hell yeah.
So for both of you, I want to ask you this question. Let's let Lindsey go first. What was the best part of coming home?
Getting Luna, my dog.
Taking her.
She didn't want to leave the country club?
Yeah. Probably would to the border if I would have brought her. So
was she so amped to see you?
She was very excited, but almost more excited to see my dad because they're like
Grandpa of the year right there.
Yeah.
Best buddies. All right, Ryan, what about you?
I mean, obviously coming home to Gunner and Emily and seeing them, Gunner telling me about all the cool things he did during the week. So
he's like, Dad, it doesn't matter that you raced. Check out what I did.
Yeah, no, screw the race car. He didn't get to see any of that. So it was all about riding bikes and his Stasic.
Oh, really? Was he just motor and Stasic all the week?
Yeah, he had both bikes in his room, prepped and ready for me.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, that's so funny.
Stage.
Right on. And we also asked Lindsay what her favorite tacos were. What were your favorite?
Oh, we got the spot now.
Well, yeah, you said you guys stayed right by the trailer. That's like...
Yeah, so the trailer, is amazing, but we went to the El Poblano right there when you exit the Bufadora cutoff.
We're talking...
I think it beats El Trailero.
It's a close tie. We've had those are over by where we stay. So.
Right.
Well, but Lindsay's a big carny girl, so like if we got the Pastor ones and that's what set it over the top, do you get El Pastor or no? Lindsay?
Me? I got carne there too.
Oh,
carne was good too.
Yeah, the carne was pretty good. All right, let's give a rating then. I gave it an 8.9 at Tacos El Poblano, and I'd probably go down to because my levels, you got to understand that last level is saved for something that's going to blow my mind in the future. So an 8.9 is basically a 10. But I would probably give the trailer probably, I don't know, maybe like a 7.8.
Did you ever eat it warm?
Yeah. I went with your dad.
Yeah, we went that other day. Yeah. I bought him some the first day, and they were like 3 hours old by the time you got to them.
Not the same.
This dude had to work. I didn't get to enjoy it and go hang out with everybody.
I agree with Manny. Valley Tea for the freaking carne.
Yeah.
The queso carne tacos are the best.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, everybody keeps bringing up this Paris place. What the fuck is it?
We drove you by it.
What is it?
It's a gentleman's club, to be classy.
Oh, okay. I got you. Yeah, because
ladies on the line.
Michael Fernandez said Brandon's co-driver had a good time at Paris.
Those are the stories you want to forget.
Yeah, you don't want to talk about them. Well, I really had a good time, man. And I said at the beginning of the show, I really appreciate the opportunity to go down there. You guys gave me the best hospitality ever. We had some good food. Oh, did we tell Lindsay about the pizza place?
Oh, I slammed a pizza at like 2 a.m. mid-pit. So I think you need to visit that place. Somewhere in Camelou.
How'd that feel later on?
Oh, the worst heartburn I've ever had in my life. But man, that pizza was good going down.
Oh, he just commented in and said, no idea what you're talking about. All right. Yeah, we don't know what we're talking about either. Somebody just commented in, so maybe he was wrong, right?
Yeah. False info.
Yeah, so I really wanted to thank you for taking me down there, man. We had a good time. We got some cool content out there as well, so I'm glad that we were able to do it.
It was rad, man. It was rad to have you along and somebody that actually enjoys being with us because we're a pretty stupid bunch. But you fit right in.
It was pretty crazy to see some of the shenanigans that went down. It wasn't like you guys were out there like just fucking off, but it was just funny to see everybody's attitude towards each other. You got to have a little bit of thick skin, but it's super fun.
That's the only way you get through this stuff,
How is it with your guys' crew, Linz?
Oh, it's the same.
It's just everybody messing on with Corey, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's got the thickest skin?
Yeah.
We actually put, I think we put in one of our edits on one of the days, like you sitting there or you yelling at him saying, give me a wristband, Ryan, not Corey.
Yeah, we did throw that in. So it's documented now.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. All right. So we're going to wind down the show a little bit here, but I want to know how boring the rest of your week is going to be since you just experienced such an epic adventure.
I honestly don't even remember my Monday because I'm still sleep deprived. So talk to me tomorrow.
See what happens. Hey, thanks for wearing your Honda shirt too, because Jeff wasn't wearing a Honda hat, and one of the Honda executives called him out.
And I'm not wearing anything KMC, so I just wanted to make sure that I was representing
both. Well, we got a little bit of video here with the KMC with my hat.
Well, there you go.
I called James and twinned out with him this morning. Made sure he wears black KMC hat and a black T-shirt too. So we were twins.
Yeah.
All right, what do you got going on this week, Linz?
I'm just catching up on work. I always tell myself I'm going to work when I'm down there, and it
never happens. I think I broke my laptop open like one time.
Yeah, I didn't even open it.
And that was to download the race course map, so that's work.
You still had a bunch of phone calls and stuff, though, so you were still kind of working.
kind of.
Yeah. All right. Well, I appreciate you guys coming on and hanging out with
Thanks,
us, man.
dudes.
It was a super, super good time down there. And
Hey, I'm suggesting next time, though, we have the super content team with Lindsey and George teamed up.
There you go.
That would be pretty cool.
I don't think Baja could handle that kind of content.
Dude,
Some stuff.
I gotta admit though that your guys' friend Nick Sawyer's, he gets fire content, dude. I don't know how he does it.
You talk to the guy, you know how his brain is like somewhere else, so he's able to come up with it.
And he like hiked straight up a cliff that was like 600 feet in the air. Like I don't know how he got up there.
It's amazing. That's why he comes along.
He nailed it for sure. All right. Well, and like I said, thank you guys very much for joining us. We really appreciate it. The car behind me doesn't thank you as much as I do, though, Ryan.
Fuck that thing. We'll let it sit back there.
All right. We'll see you guys later. I appreciate it.
Guys.
Man, that's so cool to have everybody joining us and having such a good time. The show has already been, well, it's actually going to be a little shorter today, but we had a fantastic time. We don't really have very many people, anybody else, because everybody's going home and going to bed, which I want to do. We don't have anybody else to ask the rapid fire questions. But man, maybe you guys can submit some. Maybe you guys can tell us what you guys think would be good for rapid fire questions. I haven't gotten a reply back yet today, but we're supposed to have Carl Rennezetter on the show next week. So that'll be pretty cool to see if that actually happens. I'm not sure if it will, but we'll see if it happens. If not, we'll have a fill-in guest for next week. We've got plenty of other stuff to talk about because we were barely able to brush the surface because everybody's so tired on this Baja race. But we really do appreciate everybody joining. Like I said, you guys are our lifeblood. We really, really appreciate it. Thank you to James Hill from IMG Motorsports for hanging out and talking with us. He did a fantastic job at the Baja. Ryan Edwards, and as much shit as we're giving him, he did an amazing job as well. He brought the car home. Like I said, 4th place for those guys. Insanely cool. They were just so tired and so worked. Just like many of the other drivers out there. A lot of you guys that were watching, you guys were worked as well. So we really give kudos to everybody that was able to finish that race. Thank you very much to Jeff Proctor for calling in. Justin Smith, unfortunately, wasn't able to join us. He had some business that he needed to attend to. And congratulations to Jeff as he got a first place in the 7200 class. And thank you to Lindsey Geiser for joining us. She's always a breath of fresh air. She does such an amazing job with all the stuff that she works on in the off-road industry. She had a fantastic week, and it was good to hang out with her for the little bit that we did. And, man, Branden Sims was a wealth of knowledge as far as the UTV racing goes. So thank you very much to him for calling in, and congratulations to Branden and Skylar for them being able to win the Baja 500. Super, super cool, man, in the Pro Turbo class. Lolo Locke said, what do you think about Score's new race courses, always putting bottleneck prone areas? Well, I don't really know. I can't answer that. I think that's a better question asked for some of our guests. So maybe when we have another show that talks to some of them, it really does affect things. And I've seen it. We had to go on course and do some repairs and things like that to this vehicle behind us. And it was very, very limited. And I could see where the bottlenecks would happen. But I can't be the one that judges that because I don't know. I've never been in a bottleneck during a race that was bad or anything like that. But I can see that it's a pretty gnarly thing for people to deal with. But you also have to remember that they're setting it up so that we can continue racing and just keep it going. Like, that's a part of the course. Like, that's a part of the event. That's a part of something that you have to deal with. And maybe not everybody has to deal with it, but everybody behind that has to deal with it. So maybe the question or the answer is, see if you can get in front of it. I don't know. I really have no idea. Mikey Kelly just commented in. Skylar, thank you very much. Yeah, it's Baja is a really good answer. Simple answer, short and sweet. Mikey Kelly commented in saying, that was my first ever Baja race I went to, and it was so cool to be there. Congratulations to all the finishers. Agree, man. It's a good ender for the show. We've had so many comments come in. And figuring out your way around it. Yeah, I mean, it is. It really is. Thank you very much, Sand Asylum. We really appreciate the compliments. The show has been really awesome because of all the people that have joined, not just me. So the off-road community, man. It's the off-road community. We all love to stick together. I'm sorry that we weren't able to get to everybody's comments on Facebook. We had a bunch come in, only a couple on YouTube, but this show was really good. I really appreciate everybody. You guys are the ones that make this thing possible. I can't say it enough. So keep giving us all your love. Come and, hang out with us, slide into our DMs, do whatever. Thank you so much to everybody in the audience. Thank you so much to all of our guests. We really appreciate it. Like I said, hopefully Carl Renezetter is next week. Keep your fingers crossed for us. And thank you. We love you. Good night.
Thanks for listening to The Dirt Life Show.